my little wolf pups, Wolf here, and welcome to another video. This is year 7 of Talionclan. This is part of a series, so if you haven't seen the rest of it, I would totally recommend watching the first episode. There is a link to the first episode down below, or at the end of this video, whatever you prefer. As well, if you want more Talionclan content, I also have a Discord up and running if that's something you're interested in. But anyway, now that we have all of that out of the way, let's move on to StarClan in year 7. First cat in StarClan this year is sadly Rainflower. Before her death, she became mates with Kestrel and they were really cute, and then she immediately died and I feel so bad for her. She died to rogues this year, which is odd because we haven't had any rogue interactions yet, so I feel so bad for her. And I felt like she could take them because how she was and saying that she wanted a slice of adventure. But anyway, speaking of Kestrel, he died at the end of the year this year because there was a badger attack that killed 7 cats, and he was one of the casualties. This year he was lucky enough to help get a snake out of camp, and he also was just hunting and stuff, and he was really depressed after his mate died. But yeah, that's all for Kestrel. Now let's move on to, sadly, Orchid Blur also died to the badgers this year. Our girl went down fighting, and you can't tell me otherwise. She just seemed to be relaxing around camp this year and reinforcing walls and stuff, and she was also getting cats up for like stretches all year, which I thought was very funny. Whenever I read the prompt, it was always Orchid Blur, so that was super funny. She was just trying to get the cats in shape and stuff. She also made friends with the new cat in camp, and she and Fogfluff almost became mates before her death because they were just flirting and stuff, and I feel so bad. But let's move on to that new cat she befriended. This is Moonpurr. He joined the clan this year, and I feel so bad that he died. He was just a lovely kitty pet that joined sniffing around, and he seemed really friendly and cute, and I can't say much about him other than that. So yeah, and let's move on to another cat. He did not die to the badgers, but he did die the moon before, but I didn't know where to put him. So, Dry Husk, one of Fawnheart and Wiggly Antler's children, sadly passed away. He died fighting a dog, taking it with him in his final breaths, and I feel so bad for this boy. He didn't deserve that. Let's rewind back in time a little bit and go over what he did while he was alive. When he was made a warrior, he was honored for his dignity, and then he immediately chased off a rogue off the territory, which, wow. He just seemed like a really confident cat, and I'm so sad to see him go. But sadly, Fallen Whisker also died this year. I feel so bad for this little girl. When she was named, she was honored for her cunning, but it doesn't seem to fit her at all. Like, she is bloodthirsty, but she doesn't seem like a bloodthirsty cat. Like, all of her statuses are, like, wanting to hide and stuff. So I think she just puts on a persona, especially who her mentor was, probably. But yeah, this poor, sweet girl. Other than her name, she has a mate outside of the camp, so maybe he'll join one day. But finally, let's move on to the saddest deaths this year, which are Shine Willow and Raccoon Curl, and it sucks because they just left their mate and their kits behind. Yeah, we had the first locked Polly in the clan, and I feel so bad for Breeze Spot. But anyway, individually, these girls have had a relaxed year. Shine Willow actually went out with her sister a lot this year, and they were able to fight off a big dog on their own. And then Raccoon Curl actually went out and caught 2 squirrels in one by herself. But yeah, pretty much these girls have just been hunting and guarding the territory. But however, Shine Willow did steal a rabbit from Fire Clan territory, which I find very funny, but that's on brand for her. But yeah, I'm so sad, but let's move on to our living cats, starting off with our leader, Beastar, and his mate, Beanflick. Beastar sadly lost a life to Greencough this year, so that sucks, so he's down to 2 lives now. But that hasn't stopped him doing his leader duties because he chased off a dog by himself on a solo patrol, which, wow, that's amazing. He's also been going out with his mate a lot and watching the moonrise. Like, I got that prompt like 3 different times for these guys, which is super cute. And for Beanflick this year, he was seen outside the territory talking to a kitty pet, which was kind of funny, and he also just has been lounging around camp and telling the kids stories and being an elder kind of. But yeah, that's all for them. Now let's move on to our deputy. So these two have been kind of sickly sweet out on patrol. Some cats actually gagged at them one moon because of how lovey-dovey they were, which I found super funny for these two because of everything that happened. Out on patrol, actually, Goldflick saved Gorspite from some branches multiple times, and I thought that was really cute that he was faking getting hurt just for his husband to save him, which is on brand for Gorspite. He deserves to be happy, and being playful like that just seems kind of what he would do. Goldflick also has deputy goals of some kind, which is very interesting. So he's probably thinking he's gonna be deputy once his mate becomes leader, because with the other cats don't know that Beastar is at 2 lives, but Gorspite does because he's the deputy, so that concerns him. But other than that, I think they are gonna be relaxing pretty much for the rest of the year unless something bad happened next year. They've also been talking about kits, so hopefully they might get some next year. And yeah, that's pretty much for these 2 cats. So love is in the air for at least one of our medicine cats because Spider Gaze finally received his warrior name, and he's been crushing on a Pacific cat for the last few moons. However, that cat has 2 different crushes, so he doesn't know what to do about that. Humphrey's been listening to him rant about this cute little she-cat that he has a crush on and says go for it, but he won't just yet. Also, he became bloodthirsty, so oh no. Most of his med cat duties this year has been collecting cobwebs and also getting cat mint, and he's made sure that he didn't go out on patrol with anyone else but Humphrey when he did that because he knows how cats can be when catnip is involved. When he became a full medicine cat, he was also honored for his courage, which I think is really, really cute. But anyway, let's move on to our lovely Humphrey. She's here. She's just been chilling and relaxing. She's been helping cats with medicine and stuff. He's also been helping out in the nursery a lot because one of the Pacific Queens is very, let's just say, not in the right headspace. So she's been taking over for them, sometimes like being a fake den mother, which I think is really cute because I think Humphrey probably had a litter of her own at one point, but she got rid of it or something because rules are different other places. But other than that, she basically was collecting cobwebs with Spider Gaze, and she also has been hanging out with Featherstorm a lot, which I think is really sweet, and they have a really good friendship going. But that's kind of it for her. As for medicine cats in general, they both have gotten visions of doom, so who knows what that means. Sweetland this year has had a really productive year. He helped out Fire Clan and Ice Clan with hunting disputes and solved them for good, which good for him. He also traveled to Shard Clan to try and solve a dispute, but they weren't having it. But it was a neutral agreement, not fixed for good, which is fine. He also has just been lounging around camp and trying to help with stuff that's going on in the clan, specifically around his daughters. He was trying to play mediator with them, and matchmaker, but it didn't go well as he hoped, because now one of his daughters is gone now, and he doesn't know how to feel about that, and he's slightly grieving a little bit. So yeah, anyway, luckily he has help in the mediator den. So Fogflight decided to become a mediator this year, which is really cool for him. And he's just been helping out where Sweetflight couldn't. And yeah, he's just been relaxing around camp, kind of, and wanting to help cats out. He has had thoughts of sabotage, but I think it's in a playful way of, oh, I'll sabotage you because you're my good friend. He seems to be really close to Sweetflint and his kids, which is super sweet. But yeah, that's for our mediators. There's a new pair of mates in the clan because Morning Current and Theo became mates in the middle of the year this year, which is really cute and really sweet, and it's good for both of them. They have been doing their normal warrior duties and just been hunting and stuff, and they've just kind of are a background character couple, which I'm so happy for them. So hopefully nothing bad will happen to these two. Yeah, I will say that they are expecting kids next year. I will tell you that. So yeah, they do have kids next year, but I won't tell you how many or how old or whatever. But for what they did this year, mostly, they just kind of chased off dogs and made sure that the clan was reinforced. So nothing too big. But Theo did have a fox by the throat, but that's it. So this year, our lovely acorn nest has had a pretty dry year, to say the least. The biggest thing that she did was track a dog out on the territory, and also say no to Leaf Dapple of all cats that confessed to her, which is really interesting. She also has a really high like for both Morning Current and Theo, so maybe feature Polly in the future because they like her too. But anyway, let's move on to a new face in clan. This is Scorch Shine, and he just joined the clan a few moons in, and he seems like a really calm cat. He helped dig a new dirt place, and he resisted the temptation on patrol, so I can't wait to see where his story goes. So Fawnheart this year has had kind of a relaxed year. Her and her mate just had another litter of 4 kids, so that's why Wiggly isn't here, because she's in the nursery with them, which is really cute. She also was seen talking with a kitty pet past the territory as well, and she also hates Beastar and thinks he's doing a terrible job as leader. She's had that status multiple times in this moon, so I think she just wants a Grousebite to take the leadership position already. I don't think she wants to be deputy. I think she just thinks that their leader is slipping a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of all that there is for Fawnheart this year. Now let's move on to Wood Eye, which she doesn't understand what's going on. She got rejected by the cat that she likes twice. Yeah, so she tried to ask out Featherstorm the last moon of the year, and she said no. And then she also tried earlier in the year with Sandy Dawn, and she said no, and she doesn't understand why they said no. But, girl, you asked while Featherstorm was grieving, honey. But yeah, she just seems like a mess of a cat. Other than that, her apprentice became a warrior, but let's move on to the two sisters. So these two are heavily grieving their sister really much, and they found comfort in each other because they don't know who else to go to. Well, there's their dad, but they feel comfort in each other because of growing up and stuff. But yeah, before this tragedy, they both were good at hunting and fighting, and they also just were relaxing around camp most of the year, so yeah. Leaf Dabble this year has basically been a suck up to the leader. He's been the yes man, and he's doing that also with Gorespite to see if he can get the deputy position. But he also got rejected by Acorn Nest, which is like twice his age, so I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he just has a thing for older women, because he also has a crush on Wiggly Antler as well, which is so weird to me. But yeah, anyway, other than that weird relationship drama, he was able to chase off a big dog on his own, and he's also been trying to be there for his new friend, Frog Fuzz. So Frog here has been in and out of the medicine den most of the moon. For the start of the moon, he got green cough, and then it turned into it, and then he got better, and then he sprained his paw, so he's back in the medicine den. And then once he got out, he accidentally got green cough again. So he's just been a really sick boy this year, which sucks for him. But yeah, that's kind of all for him. But let's move on to our next new cats. So Bethany joined the clan, which, if you didn't know, is Clovefade's mate. And I rolled, and he is partly hairless, so that's cool for him. But for most of the year, they've just been going on cute dates, and he has been relaxing in camp and looking at it in wonder, and the only thing that he cares about is his mate. I don't think he really cares about the clan that much, because he did steal a rabbit off of Fire Clan territory, and he also ate prey while out on a patrol by himself. He did not resist the temptation. So yeah, that concerns me a little bit, but I don't think he's a bad cat. I think he's just a weird little creature. But yeah, that's all for these two this year. So Crocus Pool this year actually has a crush on the same cat that Spider Gaze has a crush on, which is really interesting. She also had a fox by the throat multiple times this year, like it happened 3 times. So I think she's just trying to prove her worth to the clan, and she's also had the status of wanting to be deputy like her brother. So I think she has decided that it is a competition between him and her, which one of them gets the deputy position. In my opinion, neither of them deserve the deputy position right now. But yeah, that's kind of what Crocus Pool has been doing this year, and she's also been defending her brother. So this year, Cole Prance has had an interesting year. He's been a nervous little wreck, and I feel so bad for him. He missed like all of his hunting patrols this year, like he didn't catch anything. And then he got startled basically by a squirrel as well multiple times a year. So I think he's just a shy little thing, and I feel so bad for him. He was also seen talking to a kitty pet, so maybe he's thinking about becoming a house cat. Who knows for what his life holds in the future, because he just seems so sad and so skittish, and I feel so bad for him. And the only person he really likes in the clan right now is his sister, Crocus Pool, because she'll go out on patrols with him and they'll play battle and let him win, which is so sad. But speaking of his other sister, so Sun Poppy this year has had a kind of a relaxing year. She's just been play fighting and doing mock battles with a lot of cats. She was also one of the cats that got up with morning stretches multiple times this year. She also was seen talking and chasing off rogues as well, which she single-handedly had chased them off and was able to come back scot-free. She also has been trying to help her new friend, Ginger Smoke, because this girl has been in and out of the medicine den for most of the year, and she is heavily grieving right now because she has been taking a lot of risks trying to prove her worth. So the first thing she did was try to fight a dog solo, but she ended up getting hurt, and luckily she was found and rushed to the medicine den to be fixing her injury. Once she was out, she decided to go track a badger scent, only escaping by this Grace's Star clan. And then she also, during battle training, had her claws unsheathed. And then she got green cough, and her sister passed away, so she was grieving as long as being sick. So this girl has had a rough year this year, and I'm so sad for her. But luckily, she has made a friend in Sun Poppy, and she's also been made a good friend in the other cats her age group, especially Burr Fox as well. So yeah, that's all for this cat this year. So Green Lightning this year earned her warrior name at 13 moons old and was honored for her judgment, which confuses me a little bit, but okay. She just seems like a really rambunctious. She's been hanging out with her brother a lot and daring him to do some crazy things. She was also on the patrol where Dry Husk died, so I think she feels a little guilty about that. So she's been reining in a little bit of her craziness, but not much. She also was tracking wolves throughout the territory with her other brother, Dark Ember. He was honored for his loyalty, which was very cute and on brand for him. He also almost died to a monster. He luckily got out of the way just in time, so he almost died to a monster this year. And he's also been hanging out with Sandy Dawn a lot, which is very interesting and probably not forced. But he also had been also thinking that Beastar isn't a good leader, just like his mom a little bit. And he also has deputy goals, which is very, very interesting. But other than that, that's pretty much it for him individually. But one thing that he and his brother and sister did while they were apprentices, they snuck out and they watched bucks and made bets on them, which I thought was really cute. But yeah, that's all for these two. Now let's move on to Burr Fox. She and her sister graduated at the ripe age of 11 moons, so that's really cool. It might have just be favoritism though. But she was honored for her energy, and the first thing she did as a warrior was track down a kitty pet and politely ask them to get off the territory. So yeah. She was also seen talking to that kitty pet later down the line, and then she and Fawn Freckle actually helped a kitty pet into the clan, which was kind of cute, and the sisters were just relaxing. And so this is Flare Freckle, and she is the cat that both Crocus Pull and Spider Gaze have their hearts on, and she likes both of them back. So maybe a future Polly, who knows. She was honored for her judgment as well, and she was seen talking to a lot of kitty pets, and that Pacific cat that they brought into the clan already has a crush on Burfox, so I think it was her sister trying to help her out. Flare Freckle also asked Spider Gaze more about StarClan and was more interested in what happened and their ancestors, and wondered if they would leave a legacy behind, which is so cute and also kind of terrifying since she's a really young cat. So hopefully she's just interested in StarClan and doesn't know things. Other than that, these two girls have had it pretty chill this year. And yeah, that's all for these two. So speaking of the cat that Burfox and Flare Freckle brought into the clan, this is Zucchini, and she joined on the last May of the year thanks to Flare Freckle and Burfox. She seems like a really sweet cat. She was looking at the clan in wonder and wanted to join the clan immediately. She had the wing pattern, so I gave her fur that looks like wings, and she's also kind of pink, so I think it's really cute. And she immediately has a crush on Burfox, so who knows where that goes, but yeah, that's all I can say about her. Now let's move on to our only technically elder. So Pickle this year has just been lounging around camp and telling the kits stories of old. And they also have been relaxing around camp and talking to the Mess and Cat Humphrey a lot, which reminds me so much of our Cloudshade and Sparktooth relationship. But yeah, that's pretty much it for her this year. They've just been relaxing. And now let's move on to the nursery. So Wiggly Antler this year has had a very relaxed year. The biggest thing she did was catch two squirrels at once, which is really impressive. Other than that, she was just hanging out with her wife and her older kits, trying to help them out. And she was also one of the other cats that was woken up for stretching throughout the year. But anyway, let's move on to their 4 new kits. They have 2 girls and 2 boys. They have the Attention Seeker Blue kit, the Unruly Frozen kit, the Noisy Lavender kit, and the Skittish Spotted kit, which is very cute. They're all really, really sweet, and I think Spotted was named after her daughter Breeze Spot, which I think is super cute. Their donor rolled to have a bun tail and whiskers, so some of them have bun tails, some of them have whiskers, and any of their descendants can roll these traits as well. As for what they have been doing this year, she has been trapped in the nursery with these guys because I don't let nursing den dads or queens go out on territories if they're adopted. But let's move on to her daughter. So we all know what happened, and so basically Breeze Spot is now all alone with her 2 kits because her mate sadly passed away in a badger attack. And she doesn't know how to feel about her kits. She's grief-stricken right now, and I feel so bad for her. And she has 2 daughters, the Bullying Hollow kit and the Unruly Shaded kit. Yeah, so, and the donor rolled to have fur over their eyes, or hair over their eyes, I guess. So yeah, that's what they rolled, and she feels really bad about it, but she can't seem to love her kits. But that's all for her this year. So you might have noticed I skipped over Silver Stripe and Mossy Gale. Well, the reason is because both of them have been exiled and are out of the clan. So what had happened because of you guys ruling, you said that and because of game lore stuff, Silverstripe confessed to his dad, and then both him and Breezebot went for left the clan that night after confessing. And so yeah, they're outside of the clan right now. As for what they did in the clan this year, they were being really lovey-dovey, and Silverstripe seemed to come to the resolve of wanting to tell what had happened and why it happened. But yeah, that's pretty much it for these two. Hopefully we'll see what happens in the future for them. Now, just hang on to your horses for just a moment. That might have been the end of Talionclan, but we still have other clans to look at right now. So let's get into that. Obviously, in Talionclan, we still have Spider Star, but on to Icy Clan, they still have Icy Star too, and they still have 5 lives left. So they're either going to die of old age or they're going to live for a while longer. Icy Clan has started getting a lot better. They have a lot of more kitty pets in the clan. They just seem to be the home for it. But in Shard Clan, they sadly lost their leader to old age, but now we have Foxglove Star, so welcome him. Out of all the clans, it seems like Shard Clan gives us the most trouble. They trespass on our territory a lot, and they also been stealing our prey and marking stuff. They just seem like little shits, and I love them. But anyway, in Fire Clan, we also have Charred Star. Their leader also died, and so she took up the throne of leadership. So, yeah. Deputy-wise, we still have Grousebite, and we also still have Minty of Icy Clan. It is now a race to see if Minty will retire or that Icy Star will lose all of their lives. It's a race to that. And also, Icy Star doesn't really like Minty that much. They actually have a hate bar for each other, which is very interesting, but who knows what will happen. In Shard Clan, the lovely Pale Pelt was actually chosen for deputy. He was one of the original members and was a kit at the beginning. He and his husband also both have Pelt, which I think is super funny. But anyway, he's like a really sweet cat, and he always wants to do good for his clan, so hopefully he'll stick around for a long time. And then lastly, we have Chive Speckle. She is 24 moons old and was given the deputy position after her dad was sadly killed by dogs, and he was the previous deputy, so I think it was just Shard Star trying to keep the bloodline in power, but whatever. Let's move on to our medicine cats. In Talionclan, we have Spider Gaze, and we also have Humphrey. In the other clans, Fishboar is still here, and we have the newly named Bleak Sheep, which is a very interesting name. He seems like a really sweet cat, and yeah, there you have. So Icy Clan has like a really bad rap of just losing their medicine cats. So I'm surprised Fishboar is still here. But anyway, let's move on to the next clan. Grossemeyer Tree, Rosemary Heart, and Hickory Dapple. Grossemeyer Tree is actually mates with the full-on leader right now, Foxglove Star, which is very cute. And yeah, they've just been chilling and doing their medicine duties. And actually, fun fact, Hickory Dapple is actually Pale Pelt's daughter, so that's really cool. And she is also mates with one of the leader's kits, which is super cute and sweet. In Fire Clan, we still have Brightstock. They are the daughters of the same cat as Chive Speckle, their siblings. And then they also have their apprentice Dogpaw. And they're actually their mom is actually named Guppy that just joined the clan, so that's really cool. But the other clans still don't have any meat eaters, so that's it for now. Well, that's it for year 7, guys. If you're interested and want more Talionclan content, you totally should check out the Discord and the family tree that are linked down below, as well as the game and the whole saga of Spider Clan and how we got to Talionclan. So yeah, remember to stay possum, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!